Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we have entered the month of February, the month of love. And there's so many things that we have to talk about when we discuss love. And so I'm so glad that we have this entire month to really investigate what love means to us and how we're using love every day of our lives. We must first know that we are one with all the love in the universe. So come on, put your fists in the air and affirm with me. I am one with all the love in the universe. I am one with all the love in the universe. And just hug yourself and say, I am love. I am love. Right? You got to hug yourself. Some people are they don't want to hug themselves. They feel weird doing that. But if you don't hug yourself, you don't feel comfortable giving yourself an act of love, just as simple as a hug, why would you expect someone else to give that love to you? So you see Minnie here has on their glasses and we're just ready for this wonderful month of love. Yes, I am love. Now, the first thing that we have to understand is that love is the action of the universe. Everything moves in love. Everything moves because of love. Love is in your action and your reaction. Love is in every response, every thought, every word, every belief, every interaction that you have with another person. There is love. And of course, our relationships, whether they be friendships, work relationships, romantic relationships, all of these things work in love. Now, since love is everything, we must take stock of how we love, right? How we express love, how we use love, how we receive love, how we give love. And the first thing we must understand is that we must seek oneness and communion with ourselves, with the God in us, before we can even think of loving anyone in the outside world. And that means guarding our heart with love, guarding our spirit and our soul with love, guarding our household in love. One of the most important things that I remember from Maya Angelou is that they would always talk about she would kick people out of her house if they had any negative thought in her world. And that goes for anybody. And she is one of, we're in Black History Month. We're going to be celebrating Black History Month on the third Sunday in this month. And she is one of our Black history icons. She made history again as the first Black woman to appear on a U.S. quarter. But she would kick people out because they didn't have an expression of love. And you can imagine how many negative things were said about her because, there are some people that don't like others because of the color of their skin, and she was one of them that what was not liked because of the color of her skin. And even if someone was in her house talking bad about the person that hated her or tried to bring her down, she would kick them out because she believed that those words soak into the furniture, they soak into the walls, they soak into the desks and the fabric, and of course, your soul. And she did not want that in her world. Can we be so bold? Can we be so bold to say, you know what? The love of God is in me. It's in my relationships. It's in my spirit. It's in my body. It's in my house. It's in my furniture. It's in my walls. It's in my car. It's in the train I take to work. Whatever transportation, the bus, the Uber, all of these things, there is love. And once we understand that the love of God is us, not only is it within us, but it is us, what a great and a wonderful world we can build. So put your fist in the air and affirm with me, the love of God is me. The love of God is me. I am love. This even stronger. I am love. Now bring it back into yourself and hug yourself as tight as you can and say, I love me. I love me. I love me. I love me. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love me. Keep affirming this for yourself. I love myself. I love who I am. Now, The next point is to break down, as we're talking about becoming one with powerful love connectors, right? There are connections of love that we cling on to every day of our lives. And if we are to become one with powerful love connectors, we must realize, of course, first that love is the action of the universe, but we must also have a definition of love. So this is the question I ask of you at this time. What is your definition of the different kinds of love that we express in our world? There are so many areas of love because, of course, like I said, love is the action of the universe. So there will be areas that we use different kinds of love. We talk about relationships, right? People don't talk about relationships. Some people don't even know that they're dating or that they stopped dating someone, right? Because people are not having those conversations about, are you serious? Is this in it for the long haul? You know, they don't want to scare off the person. And so they hold back their vision. They hold back their dream of what a relationship is through love and don't have these conversations, right? We talk about monogamy and being faithful. Let's talk about friendship. That is another kind of love that we express. Not everyone is a friend. And I always say, look, I have a handful of friends. I have many different acquaintances, but only a handful of friends. People that I can be real and raw with in a respectful way. And they can be the same with me. But each friend in our lives gives us different needs, right? Or satisfies different needs within us. Some friends we have, best friends, we tell them everything. Some friends we keep them on a leash. We don't tell them everything. We just tell them what we wouldn't mind other people knowing because they have a big mouth. And we don't want them telling our business out on the street, right? Some friends you have specifically to play sports with, right? Like go bowling or go dancing, study, go to church, at your job, dinner friends you just go out to dinner with and have a good meal. That is a part of friendship. Let's talk about marriage, because there's a lot of people that go into marriage not talking about what they expect from marriage. People have this fairy tale, I want to get married and have 2.5 kids, that's 2 kids and a dog or a cat or whatever the case may be. And they want to have all these things. But the question is, or the questions they should be asking themselves, right? How are we going to run a household if we're coming together in marriage? Do we want kids? How are we going to raise those kids, right? How many kids do you want? If we fight, how do we come to a compromise? There are a lot of couples that fight to win instead of fighting to come out of it in love, in togetherness, in more communion as a relationship, as a couple. They fight to win. You say something bad, so I got to say something bad too. You said something that will hurt me, so I got to respond in that way. And so it snowballs and creates negative emotions and feelings in the relationships that sometimes fester into something greater and bigger, right? So how will you compromise? How will you disagree to come back together in love? We talk about romantic situations, right? Are you listening to your partner? Are you listening to what your partner needs? I always think, there's this thing that Steve Harvey does on his morning show. It's called it's actually one of his co-hosts, Shirley Strawberry is her name. And she has something called the Strawberry Letter. And there's this one thing that always sticks with me. This man wrote in and he was trying to get his wife back, right? He was very well-to-do, had money and everything, and treated her to vacations and cars and, expensive clothes and red bottoms and diamonds and all these wonderful things. But he was a cheater. He was out having his fun with everybody else, but decided, when he came home, I'll just give her some flowers. I'll just give her some jewelry because I have the money to make things right. And she left him. And he was so perplexed, like, I gave her all of this and she still left me. How do I get her back? And Steve said something so wonderful. He said, listen, you didn't actually give her everything that she wanted. You gave her what you thought would smooth over the situation, right? But what she wanted from you was monogamy. Are we giving our partners, our friends, our loved ones, our family members, are we giving them what they need? Or are we giving them what we think they need? Or what we think will smooth the situation over, right? When we talk about parenthood, people come together in parenthood. Are you having the conversations? Have you defined these relationships in your life? How will you raise your kids? What are the degrees of punishment? Some people grew up getting beat. Some people grew up getting abused. Some people grew up not being on punishment. Some people have never been grounded, right? How are you going to come together and raise this child or these children? How are you going to split the housework, the laundry, the trash, all of these wonderful things? Can you and have you articulated your expectations of these different relationships that we find ourselves in? Have you articulated what your expectations are? Have you had those difficult discussions about what you're expecting from the situation, right? Have you revealed the hard truths that will lead your relationship into a different level? Let love be the beginning, middle, and end of every relationship and every situation, every experience that you have. Friends, fist in the air, affirm with me. There is love in the beginning of my every situation. There is love in the middle of my every situation. There is love in the end of my every situation. How wonderful is that? And also when we articulate these, because listen, if the person cannot handle our truth, then that is not the person that we have to have in our lives anyway. So, you might as well speak your truth and see what you get. Because then you'll know how to progress in life. But it must be said, it must come out of your mouth. You must have the difficult conversations. The greatest distance between two people is misunderstanding. So let's get to understand what we need, how we're defining these relationships, these love relationships in our lives, and what we're expecting from the other person. And also, you have to check in. You have to check in throughout the years as you progress in a relationship. People change, thoughts change, expectations change. Check in with your loved ones and make sure the expectations and the concepts of how these relationships work have not changed. No magazine can help you. I hear people getting in relationships and they say, oh, well, this magazine said that men like passive women, This magazine said that women like this and all this stuff. No, each relationship is different. That's why you have to articulate your needs so that you know what to expect and the other person knows what to give to you. Now, another point is don't allow people to weaponize love. Don't allow people to weaponize love, and don't do it to others, right? Don't allow people to weaponize love in your life, and don't do it to others. Sometimes loving someone is not enough, right? You can love someone, but the relationship is going nowhere. You can love someone, but there's always friction between you and you need to separate. Don't be scared to actually say, you know what? We have to end this situationship, as they call it now, right? This relationship, whatever it is, we got to end it. I love you, but I can't be with you. I can't have you in my world. We have to recognize patterns of abuse. There's so much abuse that can go on between relationships, not just love and, like marriage relationships, but also friendships, physical abuse, mental and psychological abuse, verbal abuse, controlling someone, manipulating them into becoming who you think they should be. We have to remember that our relationships are not a science project. First of all, relationship is supposed to be you are relating to one another. The person comes with them, you come with you, and somehow you find a happy medium in between. But people like to manipulate. People like to say that, oh, I like the ballet and you must like the ballet too because we're married or we're trying to be married. We're in a relationship, right? That will not work. It's a different person. Now, listen, you can be open to going to the ballet with someone or to inviting someone to come to the ballet or monster truck rallies, whatever you like, that you want the person because you love them to share in that experience with you. But if that is not for them, it is not for them. Stop manipulating people or stop having people manipulate you into molding you into what they want or molding other people into what you think they should be. Relationships are not to be, that is a form of abuse. Relationships are not to be manipulated, right? They are to share love with one another. There's an old saying when we talk about abuse, the old saying that I've only heard it in the Guyanese term, but it says, when mouth and mouth got story, hand ain't business. In other words, you can have an argument, but don't let it get so heated that you start hitting one another. You start throwing chairs and plates and your fine cutlery all around in a frenzy of anger, right? We must learn to take a beat, stop. Listen to the other person. See what they have to say. Love deeply, but not possessively. And once we can do this, we can have reciprocity in our life, right? We also have to really see for ourselves, right? Now, this person that we're in a relationship with, right? It's good to be in a relationship with other people, but you have to love yourself first. The question is, are the people that we're loving, are they even capable of love? Are they full of love to give to you, right? Because some people aren't. Some people are in these relationships and they feel that because I'm a certain age, I might as well settle down with this person. I'm too old to find somebody else. I got to start having kids. I got to start getting my life together. So they climb into these relationships and they don't serve a thing in their world. Again, sometimes loving someone is not enough and it no longer serves as a reason to stay with them. There must be reciprocity. Lauryn Hill sings a song in X Factor, tell me who I have to be to gain some reciprocity. I will never, and I hope that you will never ask that question of your significant other. Tell me who I have to be for you to love me, for us to have a relationship. If they are not willing, that is not the person for you. That is not the world you want to be in. It's about compromise. It's about apologies being said if there need to be apologies to be said. 1, is the person open to apologize? 2, are they apologizing for the right thing? Because people say, oh, I'm sorry. I always like to know what you sorry for. Are you sorry for what I'm mad about? Or are you just saying you're sorry just so we can breeze over this situation? And 3, is there a change in behavior? An apology without a change of behavior, without course correcting, is a lie, right? It's not an actual apology. It's just empty words being thrown at you. So remember, let joy and love surround your every relationship in a great way. Affirm with me. Love and joy surround every relationship. I did that wrong, so we'll do it again. Love and joy surround every situation and every relationship. Friends, the last point I want to leave with you today, don't be scared of love and don't be scared to love. Again, there are people that are not full enough to love you the way you need to be loved. There are people that are not capable of loving the way you need to be loved. And if you're not telling people how you want to be loved, how are they going to know? If we're holding this as some big secret, how are they supposed to know what you need? Don't be afraid to meet new people. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself to new people. Not everyone is going to be nice. Not everyone is going to be friendly. Some people may catfish you. That's a big I still don't know how people are getting catfished. I still don't know. We're in like the 100th year of that show Catfish, and people are still getting catfished the same way. It's like, hello, you know? But don't let that scare you from loving. Don't let that scare you from having an expectation of love in your world. Set new boundaries for your life. Again, as we're looking at connecting to powerful love connectors in our world, don't be scared to set boundaries. Don't be scared to define love, to define the relationship that you need. And if you say, okay, this is what I need. I'm setting the boundaries. This is what I expect from a love relationship. And if you find that is not working, don't be scared to go to the other person and go, oh, you know when I said this? It's not really working out. Let's try something new. Don't be scared to even do that. People meet on the internet, interracial relationships. Don't be scared of love. Look, we are all one human race. And if you find someone that you love, if you find someone that you connect with, whether in friendship or in romance, let it happen. People looking for Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, instead of looking for Mr. and Mrs. right now. Who are the people that God has put in your life right now? Are you capable of loving? Are they capable of loving you? Whatever the situation is, however you meet someone, whatever relationship you are in, let there be understanding. Everyone has their own thing. And of course, there are always cultural differences when you date outside your race, but is there understanding? Okay, can you come to the bare minimum that you know what? We are human beings. Let's share joy together. Let's share love together. Let's share laughter together. Let's respect one another. Don't be scared to say these things out of your mouth and let them be something great and wonderful for you to do. Friends, next week is our Love Sunday, and that will kick off our week of love. I implore you and I encourage you to go to our website, blackdiamondworldwide.org, and do our love treatment so that we can, drum up this great and wonderful energy of love within us. We'll do our love treatment now. So put your fist in the air and let's do our love treatment together. A great and powerful love is with me, in me, and around me always. I nurture my mind with love. I heal my body with love. I fill my relationships with love. I do my part to spread love throughout this earth. I am God's perfect expression of love today and every day. It is so in love. It is so in love. Friends, I want to thank you for visiting us here at blackdiamondworldwide.org. Don't forget to visit us on Facebook and Instagram at Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Please follow, like, comment, and share with people so that we can get those algorithms going, so that we can share and encourage one another throughout the week. We also post encouraging quotes. Every Thursday, we will have a prayer list. You can either send me your prayer list privately or we can post it on that post so that we can pray with one another, encourage one another, share love with one another. Not only in the month of February and for Valentine's, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day next week as it is our Love Sunday, but not only in those days, but all days to come. I love you. Be blessed.